We just completed our 8th practice. I was standing back there and, just remember we started last Saturday and then here we are. Today we have 2, so we'll come back this afternoon and practice. And, up until now, the guys have been really working hard and doing an unbelievable job. The scrimmage today, it was really hard to evaluate for our offense because we have so many guys with nicks and bruises. And, you look at center with a Shaq, he hasn't, with his ankle injury, and then with our 2 big backs, they didn't go at all today. So our offense, it was more about, just getting plays and getting the ball in playmakers' hands and trying to just, sort through what they had. And then on defense, the key for us is to tackle. We had to do a better job of tackling, and we need to tackle the big backs to see if we can really tackle. But, overall, very pleased with where we are right now. We just got to continue to get better. And I told our coaches each and every day we just got to look to improve and just look for something, whether it be on the offensive line, it's just, footwork, or if it's on the defensive front, a shedding a block, or linebackers is tackling the secondary, whether it's covering a deep ball and wide receivers catching the ball. But each and every day, just give them something where they can work on, because you say a lot to them, and then when you have a bunch of young players, they're trying to just gather all that information, but just give them one thing, and then at the end of the day, we can evaluate that and just see if we got done what we said we were going to get done today. But like I said, we're going to come back this afternoon and go back to work and just continue to improve and get better.
What's Zach's status?
Zach is going to be day-to-day, has an ankle, and it'll be day-to-day. Just don't know yet how long he's going to be out. I think we're still in the evaluation process with our trainers and doctors.
And the 2 big running backs, what is their injuries and what's their kind of outlook?
When we look at 33 with Deontay, it probably could have went today but I just chose not to let him go. And then with Chris Warren, same thing with Chris. I think he's nursing an ankle injury.
What's
Foreman's ankle wrist. I mean, just kind of beat up right now with their whole body.
How close are you to announcing a starting quarterback?
Well, today wasn't a fair evaluation from neither one, so really we haven't even sat down and thought about it. And, I think that even when we decide, we'll give it to the team. I can't let Notre Dame know it.
You can't let Notre Dame, but you've already decided?
No, I said when we decide, when we decide, we will talk about it. The team will know it, but we can't let Notre Dame know it. What do you think?
You can tell us.
So, no, you won't tell anybody, huh? No. We won't write about it at all. The quarterback battle's over.
So how would you evaluate them?
It's just each and every day, one of the other guys, they step up. But it's a great battle. And what you love right now, just how competitive it is out there at every position, not only that position, but at every position. Swoops does a lot of good things, and so does Shane. They placing the ball. It's all about who's going to take over the offense and get everybody around them to just play within what Sterling's trying to get accomplished. But either one of those guys can get that done, and we're going to be fine, whoever runs out there. But they're both going to get a chance to play also.
Joey, a lot of people are going to be curious about just Gerard's status. And here's a guy who started 10 games last year. Now he's playing wide receiver. What happened?
You know what, Gerard? It's unbelievable attitude, and you talk about a team, and now you see where this team is heading, because now you're getting guys who are very unselfish. Gerard was battling there at the quarterback position, and said to me, he says, "Coach, I can be the backup at quarterback, but I want to play." So I said, "Okay, big boy, you tell me where you want to play." And he said, "Can I go play wide receiver?" And I said, "Most certainly you can." But you look at some guys and you try to ask guys, you try to fill them out and see if they will move another position. And he was been all smiles about it. He went out and has competed and is doing an unbelievable job. But like I said, when you see that change of attitude, now you're seeing now your team is heading in the direction you want him to go, because he's very unselfish. Even, a lot of players, if you ask them to change, they'll do it now. Whereas, it used to be one where they would sit back and say, "No, I'm a quarterback and that's all I am." But he knows that he can help this football team. He said, "Coach, I just want us to win, and wherever I got to go play to help us win, I go do it."
The reps that Gerard had at quarterback, who are those going to?
Well, you look at you know the swoops and Bushi, and then America's getting reps and Kai's getting reps. So you still have 4 guys that you're repping there, and also Gerard's still getting reps at quarterback. So he's playing both wide receiver and quarterback. So he's getting a chance to go play both positions.
Coach, with back to the quarterback question, are you planning to name a starter early next week by any chance?
I just think that next week would be just too early for us, and you know it's still in the evaluation process, and like I said, I'm not just going to put it out there yet because I know you want to write about it, and I just know that who's waiting on us so they can see who they have to go prepare for. And it's about our opponent more than anything, and you just don't want to give them anything early because you know when you're sitting there, you really don't know who it's going to be. As you're playing your opponent like Notre Dame, they're sitting there because they have 2 quarterbacks themselves that they have to deal with, but they have 2 experienced quarterbacks, and we're looking at a freshman and someone who's played. So we'll get that chance, and I think we still have enough time. You think about it, we're 3 weeks, 22 days out from playing our first game, and so we just want to make sure that whomever is in charge, they'll be able to go direct the offense, and whoever is the backup is going to get a chance to play also. So it won't like we won't walk into that game and not play both of them.
But Tyrone is notoriously known for doing good in practice, but he's struggled during the games. What in the mindset would you think that if he got to play, what would be different, this time around as opposed to other times?
Well, you have to look at just the maturity level of where he is now, and then it's just like with any quarterback. Look at the weapons he have now. I mean, if you look at it, I don't think that since I've been here, we've been at the running back position. Look what he has to play with behind him with both quarterbacks. You look at the wide receiver position. You have guys now that can win outside at wide receiver. You have guys that can win inside at wide receiver. So you have enough around you, still piecing together our offensive line. But we'll be, we're going to be so much better on offense, and it goes back to recruiting and getting the right personnel on the field. And when you get that around them, then you have a chance for whomever is taking the snaps.
Can you elaborate on the DeAndre McNeil situation?
DeAndre has decided to transfer. It was a violation of team rules and was suspended, and he's decided to transfer.
Coach, what do you know about your team after 8 practices that you did at this time last week?
What you see now with this football team is they come out to work now, and they have a lot of energy, and they conduct themselves where they do. It's all business-like, and guys are more focused now. Guys are so much more disciplined now, and it's just overall just a totally different attitude that you're beginning to see within this team. And probably that is from competition, and competition does drive it more than anything. Because now, if you look at it, even with our offensive line, you look at Big Perk, you look at Vahi, you look at Connor, you look at Tristan, and Shaq was there. But you got those guys. Now you got guys who are really pushing them. The Okafor's, those guys, that Denzel, those guys are guys that are pushing the older guys. And even on the defensive front, when we first started off, you're looking at Boyette, you're looking at Nelson and Puna. But now Christmas is going, and he's practicing hard. Elliott is really practicing hard. Even Southall. So you got guys Wilbon guys that are just really solid players. And and I said this, and I truly believe this. This team with our older players are really leading the charge. And that's why it's changing so much, because they're accepting them so much. I tell a story, and yesterday, and John knows, I was doing an interview yesterday, and I'm right in the middle of the interview, and here comes Hager running in the middle of the interview, and this young lady's asking me a question, and I just start laughing, and he's just busting the office, and I beat him. And I said, I beat your boy. And I said, who'd you beat? And he had the ping pong. I knew it was. He beat Bouchel. And he was all excited because Bouchel had never gotten beat in ping pong. So he was all excited. I'm the only one, so I'm number one right now, because I was teasing him. I was saying, okay, like who's the best player? So Bouchel's one, and then number 2, Jake Oliver's 2. Then 3, 4, 5, it was between Hager, Haynes, and Aussie, my punter. so we sat there arguing, and we was laughing about it. And I said, hey, I'm in the middle of this interview. Okay, when I finish, I will come down to the game room and I'll check it out. But you just, what you see with the team now is they're around each other more, and it's just usually if you don't know someone, you just really can't really like play with them in a playful way where you're joking with them. But guys do that now, and guys don't get upset because they're around each other so much more, and they respect one another.
Charlie, in your career, unless I'm wrong, you've always been a big proponent of guys running track.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of John when he, I guess, asked you about that, and what did you think of his season this past year, and how's that going to help translate to on the field?
Well, it's so funny you asked me a question. Last night, we were sitting there and they're arguing, so they come and get me. So the wide receiver team is Burt was on the wide receiver team, Duvernay, Davian Curtis, and Hemphill. So those four guys said, okay, Coach, if we were to race the DBs, who you think is going to win? So the DBs, so it was Boyd said he would be on the relay team. 25 said he would be on there. And who was the other one? They had three guys. Oh, Sherrod Evans. I said, so who's your fourth guy? Well, we had to look at it because we don't know yet. But I love when guys run track because we was watching the Olympics and they were just talking about, how fast they were. And it is. And if you can help, and really, if you're a two-sport, I just think that it just helps tremendously where you can go to another sport and go participate. And especially where what John did, he was able to score points and was a great asset to the track program. I love to see that happen because we have guys that can run, and they do need to run track.
Charlie, who are you looking at center behind Shaq? Are you okay there?
Well, Jake McMillan was someone that we moved there in the spring for that position, and so we can, we still have some time. If we don't, we can move guys around and then just, try to figure out, what's the best fit for us.
Working there now with the first team?
Yeah, McMillan lined up there today with the first team.
Vahe wouldn't.
Well, there'd be other options because I think Vahe played a little and Okafor played a little in high school. So it's a bunch of guys that you put the right piece there.
Going back though, can sprinter speed translate to the football field?
Oh yeah, because I tell you this right now, I don't know how fast he is, but Duvernay, I don't know how fast he is. But I mean, when he runs by guys out there, he runs by them, and he doesn't. When you watch a track guy, like a lot of them, it's hard for them because it's hard for them to translate from the track to the football field. But Duvernay never slows down. He's got once he makes that cut, like some guys had to sit down in their cut. No, he plants and he's gone. And our guys know it. I mean, he ran a route out there the other day, and the safety came off the hash, and I said, "Oh, that's a touchdown," because I knew at his angle he wasn't going to get there because Duvernay was gone. But no, I think that it can translate.
Coach, through these first 8 practices, is the team where you want them to be? Are they ahead of schedule? Are they lagging a little bit behind?
No, we're right where we need to be, and we probably need to bring along some of our younger players and just get them more reps and in the practice where they get more practice reps. Because if you look at it, we're going to count on some of those guys that play maybe a starter or backup role, so they need to be more involved. And so once you get them involved and get them more practice reps, I think that we can really start growing and trying to put the team right where we need to put it.
Right now, how many linemen are you rotating in and out?
God, on defense, offensive lineman. So you go Tristan, Perk, Shaq was there, Vahe, and Connor. And then you go Brandon Hodges. Okafor is one that we're moving around a lot. Gene DeLance, McMillan. The guys, as Alex Anderson has been a pleasant surprise for us, is really competing. Pat Hudson's another one is sitting there, Tope. But you have so many options now with all these linemen. And I told Matt before we ever started camp, I said it's going to be interesting to watch how we piece that offensive line together because they're very talented. Now it's just a matter of just the game experience for some of the young guys.
Coach, do you have any indication now about looking at the freshmen about what guys might be able to contribute more guys? Yeah, he probably needs a little bit more strength. He may be able to contribute like he may be a redshirt option.
Yeah, it's hard to say because my policy on redshirt, and I tell them if they're good enough, I'm going to play them. Because sometimes when you recruit well enough and a guy gets to his third year, he may not come back his fourth year. So you say, might as well go ahead and play him right now. So you get at least 3 out of it. But, I don't even talk to him about the red shirt. I just say, listen, if you're good enough, we're going to play you. And it's hard to say right now because, like with the lineman, it's easier because that's the position that we've been thin at on both sides of the ball. So you can, look at about how many of those guys are really going to play. The secondary, you still got a bunch of young talent there. Brandon Jones is one that's really coming on, who's very talented. And then a wide receiver, you look at those 2 guys. You look at Colin and you look at Lil Jordan, 2 big guys, Duvernay, Hemphill, Curtis. All those guys are very athletic. So it just depends. It's so hard to tell.
You bring up Lil Jordan. He's got the frame to add some size. Is he a guy that 2 years from now could weight room himself into being an H-back slot guy? You think he's a wide receiver?
I said it when we recruited him. I said, I don't know what he is, but I just know he's a football player, and so we just got to sign him. I said, I don't know what he is, guys, but I know he's a football player. And he's out at wide receiver. He has really soft, big hands, catches the ball well, and can run. And he has. He hasn't been in the weight room. I tease him all the time because I tell him I wasted a night in recruiting going to watch him play basketball when he told me he's a basketball player. But he is so talented, and he's only he will grow and get bigger.
Charlie, it's been 2 months. Octavius Bishop has been on your staff. What has he brought to the players, to your coaching staff?
When I look at Big O, when we talked about the position, it was about just player development, and I always felt like that you needed another voice, like as a coaching staff, like as a coach, like we say so much to a player, and we're always either we're trying to get them to go to class, go do this, and to hear another voice where he can deliver the same message, but he can deliver it in a different way, and he can develop that relationship. And what O's been able to do is just sit down with, I think he has sat down with the whole football team and just one-on-one where his job is where he kind of separates himself, where I'm not a part of this coaching staff. I am a part of the staff, but I'm not a coach. So I'm going to talk to you in a way that, as a player, of what I've been through and what I've seen and what I see out of you. And I think the players need to hear that when it comes, because coaches always said, but when it comes from someone like O, who's played the game and been to the NFL, now he has a PhD and he's back here working, it has some meaning to it. And he's been great. I think it's been a super, super addition to our staff.
Who was the play of the day today in the scrimmage?
I'm sorry?
Who was the play of the day?
The play of the day today. Let me see I'm trying to think. It must not have been a good one. I don't remember. I'll tell you what, Dylan Haynes. Dylan Haynes made an unbelievable interception down in the end zone, and he was able to get his feet down. The corner got beat on the outside route. Duvernay was running wide open, and you see Haynes come off the hash and go up and jump up and go catch the football. Yeah, he made a really good catch.
Did you hear that fashion designer Sherrod Evans was offering style tips for you?
Yes, he was, but I tell him I see his shorts and they have holes all in them, so I know I'm not going to dress like that. And yeah, it is a style. Yeah, it is a cool style, but it won't be my style. And I tell him all the time, how much you pay for those jeans? And they're all ripped up. And he says, this is the style, coach. But Sherrod has been amazing, because to see him bounce back with the 2 knees and come back and watch him compete the way he's competing right now. And the players, the young players, have so much. They call him old man because they have so much respect for him. I heard one of the freshmen say to him yesterday, "Man, you're a 30-year-old senior. Why are you out here? What are you out here for?" But it's just, and you see that. Like I said, now you see guys joke like that, and guys don't get upset. Like usually a guy would, older guy would say something back, but he just starts laughing at him and goes. Oh, he can still cover. He does a really good job. He had a good scrimmage today. Did really well.
He's not 30, is he?
No, he's not 30. I don't know how old he is. I'm trying to find out. We were watching a tape the other day, and it was an older tape, and he was on the tape because we was watching punt block, and he blocked a punt. And I said, all the players start laughing. That's Sherrod right there. That's his freshman year. Look at him. He's still here. But, yes. What was it?
Coach, what have you seen from Kurt Johnson and Kyle Porter with some of those injuries?
You know, Kurt Johnson, I always tell our players, if I want to just watch your player and watch the way things are done the right way, I tell them to watch Kurt Johnson. Everything is full speed with him. Everything. Guys don't even like to go against him. We're in a punt drill, he's going to go full speed. Whatever drill we're in, they don't like to mess with Kurt. And he's just one of those guys that when I start a kicking game meeting, he's the first guy in the room, already sitting there, been sitting there for 10 minutes. But he works to where he just want to be good. Even if he's injured, you'll never know it because he won't tell you. So you're going to have to watch him as you practice. Say, listen, get Kurt Johnson out of there. Look at him. And then I say, well, Coach, I went to treatment, but I can't. I want to continue to practice because I don't want to lose reps because I want to earn a position. And I told him, I said, you're going to earn a position just by the way you work. And then Kyle Porter, he was a back today and had some really outstanding runs, so talented. But he comes out of an unbelievable program out of Katy High School. But same thing. And the thing about Kyle is that he is so strong, and he just runs behind his pads. He's low. He can run through blocks. I mean, through tackles. And he is a really good, solid running back.
Charlie, are you guys confident that no matter what role he plays in the opener, Shane can handle the bright lights of a pretty big game like that?
Well, I told Shane at first, I said, no, what's going to happen when you run out there? I'm just going to pull you back, yell and say you're not ready. But no, I think he'll be ready to go because the thing about it, just because of his background, where he comes from, and just his pedigree and his dad, and I just think that it wouldn't faze him one bit. I mean, you look at it right now, he goes and beats everybody on the ping pong table. He beats everybody on the pool table. And then they said he can play. I haven't seen him play basketball yet, but players, they respect that from him. But no, I think he can handle the bright lights.
Are they splitting reps in practice right now?
What we do in practice right now is like today, Shane goes, and it's not by day, it's by period. So, like if I go a team period, period 7 and 8, then Shane will go first. Then if I come back, period 14 and 15, go another one, then Swoops will take it. But it's back and forth. So, they know they're going to get their reps. And the thing that Sterling does is he's got someone who's charting the reps. So it's kind of back and forth, like who starts. Like today, the first series out there, I think it may have been Swoops in the first series. But then I took a halftime break, so I came back to second half, and it was Bouchel.
Coach, how pleased are you with the installation of the new offense?
We're coming along, and I think that we're right where we need to be. It's some more that we need to put in. But like I said, it's been hard right now because my two big backs, I need them in there, and just to see just offensively how we can just get a fair evaluation.
How close is that offense to being ready for opening night against Notre Dame? Is it tweaking or all things need to change?
Well, I hope it's ready. But we still 3 weeks out, so we can still tweak it some more and add and delete and just make it where we're able to fit it where our guys are playing fast. I just want to see our guys on opening night just go play fast and play with a lot of energy. And we don't need much on offense. We don't need much on defense. Just just let them get out there and go play.
Joe, just to recap injury-wise, of all the guys you've mentioned, Lojo is the only one who's going to be out for an extended time.
Yeah, Lojo pulled a ham, and with a hamstring injury, you never know just how quickly you can get him back because his is the hamstring.
And it is fair to say that as of right now, Shaq, Foreman, Warren, they all would still be good to go for Notre Dame.
Oh yeah, they're going to be. If I don't get them beat up anymore in practice, but I'm trying not for that to happen. But no, they should be back. Lojo would be the one just because he's on crutches right now, and he just can't put any pressure on it. And with wide receivers getting in and out of cuts, pressing and trying to beat a defender, that's where it's going to be, where we're just going to have to watch him.
It wasn't torn.
I don't know if it was torn. I just know that he just can't, and I don't know the extent of it.
You need on Fowler?
Fowler? No, I think that it had to go to the clearinghouse. As soon as we get everything cleared up, then then he'll be able to start.
And on Gerard's development, is he advancing fast enough he could play at wide receiver against Notre Dame?
Oh yes, Gerard. Oh yeah, yes. He's an athlete. I mean, oh yes. But like I said, it goes back. His attitude is just like he wants to do it, and he wants to show us he can do it. But oh yes, without a doubt.
When's your next scrimmage, Charlie?
Probably next Saturday if we go back out and just see where we are, just injury wise, and if we back healthy, then I'm gonna go back out and bang it a little.
Charlie, how much of the Olympics is in the conversations in the locker room? How much are you using that as team building?
Well, you know what it is that they're down there watching it right now. I think they said Usain Bolt won his first heat and 10 point something or whatever, and they said he jogged the last 20 yards. But they turn it on when they're sitting around in between meetings, and they talk about it all the time. Because they was in there talking about. I didn't even know what had happened to our soccer team until all the players were talking about it. So they use that in the play. They all sit there and watch it. Like if it's on, they're gonna all stand in front of it.
Is there any way you can use that as a kind of a team building tool, since it's kind of a built-in conversation piece with everybody?
Well, you could, because you can look at what those athletes have accomplished and how they represent their country and how hard they work to get to that point. And that's what our guys don't realize. But they do realize that because they were talking about. I think it's a football player from Baylor that's a part of the team, but you can always use it as motivation, because now if you work hard enough, this is what could happen to you if you ever decide to be an Olympian.
Coach, when do you turn away from just evaluating your team and moving on to Notre Dame? Do you have a time frame for that?
Yeah, I think that we probably go, since we're 3 weeks out, can probably go another week with our team, and just because we still got to put it still. It's about putting the pieces together, and then you have 2 weeks to prepare for Notre Dame, and it's going to give you a lot of time.
Do you have 2 more scrimmages? Next Saturday?
I don't know if I'll be able to scrimmage this Wednesday, because we don't get out of school. We get out of school so that some of our guys are taking final exams on Monday, and then Tuesday the schedule changes a little, so it may be hard to get us one in Wednesday. Or Saturday I get one. Mm-hmm.
Charlie, you mentioned tackling a while ago, and Vance and some of the defensive guys have said you're trying to go back to basics in terms of tackling. What can you do with the NCAA limiting you on how much to the ground tackling you can do, and how tough is it now with all those restrictions to actually teach good tackling?
Well, you have to do it, Jeff. You have to do it every day in practice. So what we do is we set up circuits, and we just teach. It's more or less you teaching them how to tackle, because a lot of guys don't know. You dropped your head, so now it's how do you want to tackle? The Seattle Seahawks made an unbelievable tackling tape where it's almost taking your head out of it, teaching how to low tackle and how to turn a guy. So it's more of us teaching that during our each day. An individual, there's a tackling circuit. And we only get to one day where if we scrimmage, that's the only time we ever tackle. I want to protect our football team too. So I don't let us. We're not just going to go out there and tackle. We can only tackle. And I tell our defensive staff, let's just teach the circuit. And if we teach the circuit, we tackle one another.
Is the circuit something you just started doing just this fall camp, or you started in the spring, or what? I guess how does that differ from what you've done in the past?
Well, what we did it's just a different, like we've done it, but it's different now. It's different fundamentals and techniques in each one. So like one is where you break down and you're taking grass, where you run up on a guy, you stand in football position, and you touch off the backside hip. And then another one is where you low tackle, where you tackle a guy around his knees and you spin him under. And then another one is you just rip through a tackler. But you just have to set those circuits up and just make sure that a guy can can defeat a blocker, then go make a tackle.
Got time for 2 last ones? So if you're going to start Notre Dame prep about 2 weeks out, does that mean you're hoping to have all your starters kind of in place by the end of next week or something?
Well, you like to feel like, even like right now, we kind of have an idea where we are with a bunch of the starters, because you look at what you had last season, what you have coming back. And so with the preparation, it's more where you take their plays and you work on like what they do offensively, what they do defensively, what they do in the kicking game. And so you just make sure that each and every day but we still have to continue to just find the pieces with our team too.
Looking looking like a 10-win team, 11-win?
Oh, God. Oh, man. Why he's trying to put it, he's really trying to do something to me, huh? You know what? I would say this, it'll be fun. We'll go out and compete and play our hardest. And you know, it's just going to be fun watching this group of guys play. We just need to play with energy. We need to play with passion. We need to just have so much pride in how we play, just not go out there and just go through the motion where we have something to us and look like a football team and look like a University of Texas football team. That's what we need to look like. All right? Thank you. Appreciate it.